year mean for your group as you're trying to, integrate all these new players?
It's huge. I mean, there's a lot of little things that only a training camp can help, but we smashed it all together and tried to give up as much information as humanly possible, but at the same time keeping it as simplistic as possible.
How many practice sessions did you guys get?
Well, we got the one today. Yesterday we got together, but it was more mental, and it wasn't like what you guys witnessed today.
What's going to be the biggest area of focus before things kind of resume here?
Always defense, my friend. But at the same time, you got to smooth out the edges, and turnovers not good, bad starts not good. A lot of those are coming from trying to do the right thing, and so I'm totally understandable. But the one thing, as you guys know me, is defense. It has to happen. So I don't know how it happens, as Rick Adelman used to say, it's that it happens.
Yeah. Is it still too early to figure out maybe what type of role somebody like Markelle Fultz plays for you guys?
We got hoopers, man. He's a hooper. What that means in the big scheme of things, until you put it in the gumbo, you don't know how it tastes. Yeah.
How's it look to you? What are your impressions just of what you've seen so far?
I really like what I see out of him. Long, athletic. I mean, I've watched him since he was in Washington, obviously being from Seattle, so I know what he brings to the game. What he brings to the game with the mixture of the guys we have is probably the question mark, but defensively, long and rangy, has the ability to see the floor at a high level and make a lot of passes, and then his ability to score, not like a shooter scoring, but he got to his mid-range, hit a three, drove all the way to the basket after Valanciunas just killed the whole lane, so it looked good.
Doug, you've been talking about defense a lot. Just how is it that you have players who aren't known as defensive players? How do you scheme your way around some of the deficiencies that you might have?
Because defense is an individual. We don't play individual sport. Defense is a collective. We play a team sport. So even on our squad, we didn't have necessarily a whole bunch of individual defenders, but collectively the ability to communicate at a high level, the ability to do early work, to be handsy and physical and pull the trigger and make sure that we're making very decisive decisions. Like we pull the trigger and it happens, and from there everybody responds, as opposed to always being reactive and getting hit first. I'm not a get hit first guy.
You said you had a discussion with the team yesterday. Was that anything as how to approach these last 27 games, knowing what type of position that you're in the Western Conference?
Yeah, one at a time. One at a time. One quarter, one possession. Everything is one. We're just gonna together as one possession at a time. And if at the end of that we have won the possessions, then we should be in a good spot.
So I know you said earlier in the year that you brought the team together to do an escape room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with a new group like this, with new personalities, just how is everyone meshing together, and how do you kind of bring the group together?
I was talking to Dip this morning, and I was using the example of Hito Turkoglu. And when Hito came here, he wasn't, like, English-wise, wasn't, like, great. But as soon as we hit the floor with the basketball, I totally understood what he was saying. And that's what we're trying to get, is we need to get out there and we just gotta work together. And once we do that, the language of basketball speaks more volumes than anything else.
We've talked before about how difficult the job can be, finding the playing time for everybody with how talented this roster is. From just the short time with these guys, how do you feel they've responded to when their number is called versus isn't called, guys that feel they could be on the floor, not being on the floor to close a game, for example?
I mean, it's always going to be a problem. It's an age-long problem that we haven't always had here, to be honest with you. We have credit to the front office and everybody there that they did a good job with bringing in talent. The bottom line is we win the game. I don't care how it happens. And hopefully everyone is on the same page with that. And I think not only on the same page, same paragraph, same sentence, in same word. And we will see, because the competition starts tomorrow.
You guys have had, so many changes over the past 2 months, really. To get into the break, did it come at a good time? Do you have to utilize that time maybe differently than other teams do to kind of get guys acclimated, and just maybe how you felt you guys came into the break?
I don't know, S, about that one. If you're in the water and you need a breath, is there really a good time to get it when you get it when you can? So, was happy for the break. I didn't really take a break. I watched a lot of video and just trying to make sure that I'm being the best person in this position that I can possibly be, and make sure that I'm prepared for them, and make sure that they are feeling and understand what I would like. But I hope that they got some rest, and seeing the tans and different things, I think they probably did. I just walked my dog.
2 seasons ago, this team came out of the All-Star break red hot to help kind of secure that playoff spot. You were in a different, obviously, position at that point, but what do you remember from that and implementing those lessons to starting this quote-unquote second half?
Yeah, nothing. I mean, I could relate back to when we came out of the break. It's like, this is basketball, man. It's not like brain surgery. We have to come out, we have to play good basketball. And most times in these positions, it's the team that finds their stride at this time. And that might have been a team that wasn't playing good early in the season. And all of a sudden, all the pundits say, wow, they're playing great. Well, no, they're playing together. They're playing at a high level. Maybe they don't have many injuries. Maybe somebody gets hot, whatever that is. But it's basketball. And the thing is, we want to play, first and foremost, a really good brand of basketball for our fans. And then we're playing for the brother beside us, and we're going to play hard as hell. And if we do that, we give ourselves a chance to win. And that's really all that you can ask for in this league. I won't accept anything less, so that's where we're at.
Last one.
In the couple games leading up to the break, it seemed like DeMar kind of filled that De'Aaron substitution pattern. How much do you expect to lean on him in that second unit as a little bit of a point guard, and what have you seen as his capabilities as a passer?
DeMar is just a hell of a basketball player. I'm a little bit more not necessarily traditional point guard. Like, you are a basketball player. We put him in positions for him to make plays. He makes plays. We put him in position to make buckets. He makes buckets. And that's just a credit to him as a craftsman and how he goes about his business on a day-to-day basis. So the rotations and all those things, it's going to be whatever it takes to win the ball game. Some nights it may be this way. Some nights it might be that way. Some nights you play a lot. Some nights you don't play as much. But hopefully on the left side of the ledger, it's a W for the Kings. That's really all that counts.